Hola, hola. Bienvenidos a Esperanza Vence, donde la esperanza vence. Welcome to Esperanza Vence, where hope wins. Welcome to your new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of the water bearer in traditional Western astrology. It's an air sign which deals with thoughts, ideas. It's not very emotional. It's very intellectual. It's a sign that deals with forward thinking, futuristic thinking. It's a sign that's ruled by the planet Uranus, and Uranus is about to go direct on Sunday, January 22nd, 2023. At this time, while I'm shuffling these cards, we're all dealing with a Pluto conjunct the Sun. Now, Pluto is a planet of deep transformation, darkness, death, any type of sort of hidden underworld stuff, like deep secrets that you might not reveal. And, I was listening to an astrologer. I think I've mentioned him on this channel before, Adam Ellenbass, and he really is good at nailing it, basically, when it comes to the astrology. He's a pro. And he basically was talking about how sometimes it's really important just to keep secrets, just to yourself, just to keep some things to yourself. We live in this society, I feel, where everybody's just barfing themselves on everybody else, between Facebook and social media. It's just like, see me, look at me, look at me. And it's like, it might be kind of cool sometimes to just like have some things that you keep to yourself, not because it's like embarrassing or that you wouldn't tell somebody, but it's just something sacred that belongs between you and God. There's a passage in the Bible, goodness gracious, what is it? I can't remember if it's in Mark or Luke, but it talks about keeping your good deeds between yourself and God, and there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for keeping secrets, and there's something to be said for having secrets, and there's something to be said for having like deep, it doesn't even, this one wanted to come out, the moon reversed. The moon upright is a card of intuition, following your guidance to a higher path. The moon reverse could mean that like you need to use your intuition that you've already gained and gain action now in the real world. This means this is an ending to the time of just relying on your intuition. You have to rely on your practical senses too, The sun just came into Aquarius yesterday or today. And then on the time of the new moon, it's going to be the sun and the moon in Aquarius, double Aquarius. So we're dealing with forward motion. I mean, a lot of astrologers out there are talking about like, yay, it's the green light. Like, we can all move forward, But it's like, you got to take things into perspective. If you actually follow the astrology, then you will know that Mars is still in its shadow phase. Mercury just turned direct like yesterday or the day before. It takes a while. It's like, I've also heard astrologers describe this as like a freight train in the station. When it switches direction, it's a heavy piece of machinery and it takes a while to get going, So I wouldn't go balls to the walls right now. I would still use this time, especially this new moon, as a time to close out old energies and meditate on what you want to bring in. I wouldn't like start jumping the gun necessarily, but you can just make small steps towards what you want to bring in. Or there's a lot of karma also attached to this new moon, especially with the Pluto aspect, and Uranus going direct. But all of the signs are reaching towards higher outcomes. So, don't get too stressed out about which path you choose. As far as I know, the universe always rearranges itself however long it takes. If you make a quote unquote bad decision or whatever. Like, your destiny is already what it is. Like, look at your astrology chart, talk to a good astrologer, figure it out, know what your timing is, know what your weather is, and understand that, like, no matter what decisions you make, the universe is going to rearrange itself to sort of still reach you to your destiny. Unless you're like a super huge asshole and refuse every gift that God ever gives you. In which case, you're going to hell in a handbasket. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. But, yeah, so thank you for joining me here on Esperanza Vence. Thank you for joining me here when all the planets are finally about to go direct. And we can actually make a lot more clear-headed, clear-minded decisions, especially with everything in Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign of intelligence, of being able to think outside the box, of being able to come up with new solutions, you know? And I'm even going to pull a card or two from a new tarot deck that I got from my sister. She got me some chakra cards. So, if you're into chakra Khan or chakra cards, stay tuned, because at the end of the reading, we're going to pull a few chakra cards and see what the cards want to tell us about, you know, what we can focus on this new moon as far as our own personal energy is concerned. I mean, I know only like 6, 7, maybe 20 of you tune in. So whoever's tuning in, this is for us, okay? And, you know, I really think that Aquarius is a sign. Aquarius is definitely a sign that rules like group think, you know, so we have to be, and technocrats, so we have to be aware of, you know, larger entities, technological entities that want to sort of assimilate everybody to one peace of mind. So we need, those of us who are in tune, those of us who get it, we need to be able to maintain our individuality within the group and understand that we need to accept differences for the betterment of the entire group, you know. This new moon is conjunct the fixed star Pisces, and I usually don't talk about fixed stars because I'm like totally not an astrologer. I'm a tarot card reader. But let me mention that Pisces is the root, you know, Latin term for fascism. And that was also forward thinking. That was also like, you know, thinking about the group for the betterment of the whole and stuff like that. So we have to keep in mind that, like, just because we're entering an age of Aquarius doesn't mean, or Aquarius age, it's not going to mean that, like, everything's sunshine and rainbows and fucking unicorns and daisies and shit. Like, we need to keep our eyes peeled for anybody that's trying to subjugate us to the greater cause, you know, because Aquarius is all about the greater cause, the greater good, the greater movement of humanity. Yeah, I get it. Okay, we're all about that. We're all on that trip. But, like, even people that are on that trip can be using the positive in a way that subjugates the individuality of the, you know, autonomous spirit to the group. And if it's for the betterment of the group, we're going to subjugate your autonomy. And, you know, you just got to keep your eyes peeled for anybody who would subjugate your freedom for the betterment of the group. Because Aquarius is all about forward thinking, technology, you know, and we all know what's going on right now, you know, between AI and Facebook and social media and all that kind of stuff. They're all trying to sort of just direct our thoughts, and our thoughts direct our feelings sometimes. Sometimes our feelings direct our thoughts, but these days it's like, golly, you know, it's like, I have been on Facebook for a grand total of 3 months, and I've already noticed that, like, people peep game before they even know you. You know, they're already internet stalking you before they even give you a chance to live, you know, and it's just, In this upcoming age of Aquarius, those of us who are still in tune with the earth and in tune with our bodies and in tune with our own humanness, we still need to be aware and awake and able to be our own strange, weird, fucking selves and understand that that is for the betterment of the group. Because when you are your weird, strange self, and when you are clowning and, you know, doing what you need to do and showing your ass every now and again and showing your insides, you know, that gives other people permission to do the same. And when we all have permission to be ourselves, then we make for a stronger collective. It's not that, like, when somebody determines what are the rules for the collective and we all just sort of like fall in line, that it's for the greater good. No. In my humble opinion, as Esperanza, Vence, where hope wins, I would have to say that, like, giving each other the space to be ourselves and do what we need to do in this reality is going to be the best for the larger collective. All right, that said, these are the decks I'm using, as you can tell, and I'm going to pull 10 cards and talk about the energy that's pulling in for this Aquarius new moon on January 21st, which is tomorrow, about 3 p.m. my time zone. I think it's about 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You can adjust to your time zone. If any of you are watching from a different time zone, I am so grateful for you. I do have some in-person readings coming up again next month. If you're on my Facebook, you'll know. Mostly people on my Facebook are my actual friends, but I do have a public page. So if you're interested in local and you want to book a reading, I just did some readings last weekend that were just, oh my goodness, fabulous. I just really love doing in-person readings because I can actually really connect and empathize, you know? And the cards just come through crystal clear, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful exchange of energy. If anybody wants to get a reading on Zoom, those are also really good, beautiful energy exchanges as well. I've done some really good Zoom readings where the energy still, I mean, the energy's in the ethers. Doesn't matter if you're sitting here right next to me or if you're across the world in a different time zone. You know, we still, if you're sincere and you actually ask sincerely a question, or you really sincerely focus on your topic and your guides, ooh, it's going to come through. Let me tell you, it will come through. So, you know, don't be afraid to book a reading just because you don't live near me. I am sending love all over this universe and in all other universes too, you know? I mean, I'm very aware that there's lots of multiple layers of reality going on here, and we're good, you know? So go to my website, esperanzavence.com, and, you know, tootle around a bit, see what you want to do. You can also get a gift card for a friend of yours, or for, you know, whatever you want, if you want a reading in the future. But, yeah, I really appreciate your support. And if anybody has time to give some prayers, you know, I got a couple people in my life right now that, like, their parents are going through a time of transition to the other side. Oops. Here comes a card. The Hanged Man. It fell out. And I was just talking about, like, people in my life that, like, there's not much they can do. They're just kind of waiting for their loved ones to pass peacefully. And I wish that anybody that's tuning into this reading right now, if you have it in your heart and if you have the time to do so, could you please send a prayer to my friends, because their parents are passing to the other side right now, and it would be great for them to have your good energy. I also have a niece that just had surgery this morning. The surgery went really well. But if you have time or space in your heart to please just send her some good vibes, for healthy healing and recovery. She's going to come out even healthier and happier and more vibrant on the other side. But, she's just a baby. She's just a little girl, So, it can be stressful for the parents, and the child takes on that energy, whether they realize it or not. And if you just have time to, and I'm also sending prayers to all of you too, and love to you too. And whatever you're going through, happy, sad, I have a friend that just closed on a big, property purchase, and I'm sending happy energy. I'm sending happy energy to everybody, I try to. I mean, unless you're a piece of shit, fuck you, But if you're not a piece of shit, like, love to you, I mean, it's very simple. Life's not that complicated. All right, let's pull 10. New moon in Aquarius. New moon in Aquarius. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to Esperanza, Vence, where hope wins. Thank you for tuning into this new moon in Aquarius with me. These are the energies that want to talk to us right now. This is us. This is what's crossing us. This is in the near past. This is in the near future. This is in our conscious awareness. This is in our subconscious awareness. This is how we feel about ourselves in this situation. This is how others feel about us. These are our hopes and fears, and this is the likely outcome. All right, y'all, let's play some cards. Goddess bless. Us, the Aquarian. 6 of Pentacles reversed. What's crossing us? 8 of Cups. In the near past. 6 of Swords. In the near future. 10 of Cups. Conscious awareness. The Chariot. Oh, that's funny because we got conscious awareness, the Chariot. Oh, sorry, that was a reading I did for somebody else. My bad. Subconscious awareness. The Empress. How we see ourselves in the situation, 3 of Cups reversed. How others see us in the situation, or what our environment dictates, is the Moon. The Moon came up twice already. It already jumped out at us, and now it's in our reading. 2 of Wands reversed is going to be our hopes and fears. And the likely outcome is the Page of Wands upright. So, as you can already notice, this tarot deck, the Tarot de Maria Celia, it has different imagery than we usually work with the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And I love it. I love the illustrations. I just love the artwork, and I love the simplicity of it. I feel like it could be woodblock prints, really. Like, if you carved it out, like, you could literally, like, stamp these on other... I don't know. I just really love it. But bear with me because, well, and with yourselves, because this imagery is a little bit different than what we're used to, And I don't use this deck all the time, so we're going to just go with it. Who are we, the Aquarian, during this new moon in Aquarius? What is the topic of conversation here for us personally? That's going to be the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So the 6 of Pentacles in upright, this is a card of balance. This is the card of give and take. This is a card of, like, in the normal not normal, but in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is like the basic bitch tarot deck that everybody should learn with at first to understand what the imagery is. Not should, but I don't mean to say should. I just mean to say, like, what people usually do to learn tarot. They start with a Rider-Waite deck because, as I always say to clients when I'm in a reading, the thing about tarot is that these images, they have been embedded in our DNA and in our subconscious and our consciousness for hundreds of years. But we've been working with these pictures, with these pretty pictures, right? This is an older version of the pictures that we're used to, but this is a modernized version of the older version. So I believe the original Marseille Tarot deck was only the major arcana, which would have been 21 cards. This is like a modified version of the Marseille Tarot deck. I believe that the original tarot decks only had 21 cards, from the Fool all the way to the World, and then they started having like minor arcana, which would be like kings, queens, pages, princes, what have you, and then the numbered cards. Kind of like when you play a 52 card deck when you're playing poker or blackjack or whatever, the aces are high, right? Or low, and so on, depending on how they show up in the spread or in your hand, right? So at the end of the day, you just got to play your cards right. You know, you always have free will and you always have the potential to play your cards right, depending on the situation. And when the cards come up, our DNA recognizes these images. Even if we've never read tarot before or we have no knowledge of what these tarot cards mean, this practice has been in our humanity, in our collective consciousness for hundreds and hundreds of years. So no matter who I read tarot cards for, I know that they already know in their own intuition what they need to know. I'm just trying to pull that out of them. I'm just trying to give them an opportunity to use these images to spark their own intuition. You know, that's why the tagline to my business is thank you for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me, because what you're doing by looking at these images is fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me. Back up one. So the Six of Pentacles in the traditional imagery, quote unquote, the imagery that we're mostly used to is the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Now the Rider-Waite Tarot deck will show an image of a merchant, like a wealthy merchant, and they're doling out pentacles. Okay, pentacles means money, to poor sort of downtrodden beggars. And sometimes in life we're like on the side where we need to ask for help, and sometimes in life we're on the side where we can give help financially, supportively, however we can do it. So the Six of Pentacles upright is a card of like bringing balance to a situation. The Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is us when we're asking about this new moon, is a little bit of an imbalance. You know, maybe we're giving too much, maybe we're taking too much. This is just a card of just like, for practical matters, an earthly standpoint, you know, as far as it is like, you know, paying bills or being in a relationship, or, you know, just you might be giving more than you're taking, or you might be taking more than you're giving. Okay? What's crossing this is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card of walking away from a painful situation, straight up. You know, the cups represent emotions, okay? Cups always represent emotions. Earth always represents like money, how you feed your face, you know, pentacles. It's just very basic stuff, like how you maintain your 3D reality. Cups always represent water, and water always represents emotions. So how are you giving and receiving your emotional self? How do you feel about situations? What's healthy for you? What's toxic for you, etc. Eight of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot deck represents a person. There's an image of a person who's walking away from 8 cups that are all upright, but they still understand those cups, that emotional situation is not good for them. So as a challenge, we might be challenged to either be clear about an emotional situation that's not right for us, or to have clarity in the actual ability to walk away from a situation that's emotionally not good for us. There could be a sense of loss, a sense of starting on a new path, with some icky feelings inside still. Like sometimes what sparks you on a new path is not necessarily, like for a new moon, you know, everybody online and all these, like, not all these, but a lot of astrologers that people tend to follow and stuff, and some of these memes that I see on Facebook and stuff, it's just like all fucking positivity all the fucking time. And it's like, that's not life, you know? We need to be aware that even though we're going on some new beginnings and all the planets are moving direct, you know, not all the planets are benefic. Okay, there's a difference between a benefic and a malefic. A benefic means like good luck, good fortune, good love, good health, good wealth, you know, all those things. But a malefic means entanglements, arguments, Martian energy, devil energy, codependency, addictions. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because the planets are moving forward, and Saturn is about to conjunct Venus on Sunday at the same time that Uranus is moving direct. Like, this brings restriction at the same time that we're dealing with, like, wanting to break out and do new things and have new surprises and do something against the norm. So this could be a lot of conflicting energy, you know, don't get it twisted. Like, just because all the planets are moving direct doesn't mean that all the energy is necessarily quote unquote positive vibes, man. You know what I mean? Like, we need to keep clear in our hearts and keep clear in our spirits that the beauty in the universe is a definite dance. And I'm not going to say it's a balance between light and dark, because, you know, balance is neutral. No, the beauty is in the dance. The beauty is in the highlighting of the differences between light and dark, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, you know, inside and outside. You know, you gotta stay clear on that, because I think that there's a lot of happy fucking hippies out there that just feel like positive vibes, positive energy, keep your fucking thoughts positive and then your life's gonna be positive. That's not fucking true. I've had positive thoughts since the day I was born, and I will tell you for a fact that my life has not always reflected that. You know? Be okay with shit that's not okay. And understand that Eight of Cups is walking away from a painful situation, but as a challenge card, it might be hard to fucking do that, man. And you might be drawn in by the toxic, you know, sort of just deliciousness of the situation, the sexiness of the situation, you know what I mean? Eight of Cups kind of reminds me of the 8th house, you know, in astrology. And the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is just deep, dark, funky sexuality that just, you know, I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, we're 27 minutes in and I'm only 2 cards, so let's go. Near past, the 6 of Swords upright. This is a card of moving on to better situations, intellectually, emotional. You know, it's not an emotional card. It's just making an intellectual decision to move to better shores. Straight up. In the near future, we have another Cups card. 10 of Cups. In the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, this is represented by a couple and their 2 kids, and they're dancing under the rainbow. So it means that they have to, like, you know, they've gone through the hard times, they've moved to better shores, and now in the near future, they're reaching a pinnacle. 10s are always pinnacles. They're always like the culmination, the height of happiness, the height of emotional fruition, you know, like everything that you've worked for is finally coming to terms. You know, this is happy family energy, this is happy couple energy, this is happy, just happily ever after energy, basically. In our conscious awareness, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is a card of Cancer, which is interesting because Cancer is usually ruled by the moon, but I've heard a lot of tarot card readers, and I've been learning and trying to understand the tarot better. I'm always trying to learn about the tarot, and I've learned that the Chariot card is representative of the sign of Cancer, and This is a forward moving sign. This is a sign of being in control of a situation. So in our conscious awareness, like we feel like we're making forward motion. We feel like we're in control of the situation. We feel like we're in charge. And, you know, as a card in the conscious awareness, I would just say, like, as we say in Spanish, ojo, ojo, and I'm pointing to my eye because it means, like, look out. You know, the minute that you think you're in charge and moving forward at a fast pace, this is fast moving energy, by the way, but if you think you're in control, just, you know, ojo, keep that shit in check, because just because you're in control of a situation for right now doesn't mean, and just because it's in your conscious awareness, like you might be thinking about, like, okay, I want to regain control of this situation. I want to regain control of myself. I want to regain control of my own emotions. This is not an emotional card. This is a card of moving forward, making progress. So we might be thinking about, like, you know, all these planets are moving forward, like we said before. So we might be in our conscious awareness thinking about, like, making a lot of strides, making a lot of moves, making, you know, a lot of forward motion in terms of business, relationships, any type of anything that we need to do in the community, anything we need to do with our own health, like exercise or diet. And just, if this is in our conscious awareness, that's cool. You know, just keep in mind that the universe is at work and it's more powerful than us. So just when we think that we're making a step, you know, just always be humble and always understand that, like, there's something deeper going on. Speaking of deeper energies, our subconscious energy is the Empress. The Empress is, like, literally what I aspire to be in the tarot. She is so in charge of her divine feminine energy. She's full, she's fertile. She's not just a queen, she's an empress. You know, she has an emperor, she has a counterpart, she has a partner, but, like, she doesn't need a partner to get this shit done in reality. You know, she's one that takes that divine feminine growth energy and makes it happen in reality and sprout. She's all about creativity. Venus energy. Venus is conjuncting Saturn on Sunday, like I had mentioned before, and that is an energy of just strength in love. Understanding that love is the power that guides this entire universe, and that life itself is the power that guides this entire universe that we exist in. There's a lot of other universes out there, but the one that we exist in, the one that we relate to when we're talking to each other or watching our YouTube videos, like, this is a divine feminine energy that blossoms life into the universe where we exist. She holds the in her womb the potential for birth. She births. She's wide-hipped. She's ready to go. She causes things to grow around her. She's a divine mama. And whether we realize it or not, this is the underlying energy that upholds this entire story that we're talking about. Three of Cups reversed is how we see ourselves in this situation. Three of Cups upright is going to be a card of, like, celebration between, again, feminine energies. It's usually depicted with three women holding up their cups and basically saying cheers after a good harvest. They're probably drinking mead or something, you know, from the honey that they've been working so hard on all summer, and they're finally like, yes, we got our harvest. Our harvest came in. We're emotionally happy that, like, everything that we put our effort and blood and sweat and tears to came to fruition. There's pumpkins blooming in the background, and it's just like, it's just a card of, like, just literally just having a good time. And then the Three of Cups reversed, this just means that, like, honest to God, maybe we're drinking too much. Maybe we need to stop having such a good time and start focusing on reality. Maybe we're just not having a good time right now. Like, depending on who's tuning into this reading, like, maybe we do need to get out there more with our friends and try something new or go near new places. I went somewhere new the other night, and it was very refreshing indeed. And, you know, to lift your cups with new people, not just like the same old, can be very refreshing and very good for the spirit. So with the Three of Cups reversed, I would just say that, like, maybe it's time to focus on new ways of having fun and maybe just having fun on the inside with yourself, like, honest to God, dancing naked in front of the mirror by yourself. Like, it's good for you, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be with other people and because you worked hard for it. It can just be for its own sake. How other people see the situation or what your environment dictates, if I can get it up here, is the moon. The moon is a card of deep intuition. It's a card of rectifying our wild self and our domesticated self. There's a wolf and a dog both howling at the moon. And it's interesting because this is a card that has to do with dreams. And last night I had a really strong dream about this sweet little puppy that I had with me. And like, somehow I lost the puppy and it was just like so heartbreaking. Like, I woke up this morning and I was just like so distraught that I like lost this puppy, you know, and it wasn't even my puppy. I was like babysitting someone else's puppy and then like I lost it, you know, and it was so cute too because the puppy was this exact color. It was like a dark grayish purple puppy, and it looked like a cross between like a Chihuahua and a pit bull, and it was just so tiny and it was so sweet, and I just carried it everywhere with me. And I just, at some point, like, I lost the puppy and I didn't know how to get it back, and I was just frantic. And how others see us in this situation is that, you know, there is a lot of intuition involved, there is a lot of like darkness involved, there is a lot of like uncertainty involved, there is a lot of like having to trust our deeper nature, our more scorpionic nature, you know, maybe our wild and our domesticated side are like sort of at odds with one another. And maybe how our environment dictates is that there is no resolution between our intuition and our actual selves, you know. Maybe other people see us as like being in tune with the dark and being in tune with, you know, maybe that freaks people out, you know. It could be. Our hopes and fears in this situation is the Two of Wands reversed. The Two of Wands upright usually depicts a person that like already has a creative pursuit established, but they're putting something else out there to the public, to the universe, to the world, you know, and they're waiting for that response to come in. In the reverse, we could be feeling like, as our hopes and fears, we could be hoping that like we're able to put something out there, but at the same time, we might want to keep some of our creative projects to ourselves. You know, we might not want to put it out there just yet. You know, I can think of a creative project that I'm working on right now. And, you know, I told, apart from the project that I'm involved with, I've told maybe 2 other people about it, you know. I've booked a few gigs with this project, but I haven't actually shared this project out yet. And with the Two of Wands reversed, this could be bringing our creative energy inward. This could be making us reflect upon, because, you know, Mercury's gone direct, Mars has gone direct, but like I was saying before, like that energy is not like charging forward yet. It's not, it's still a time of we're in the dark of the moon. We're in the, I think we're even past the balsamic phase of the moon, but the moon, once it starts to crescent a little and you can see a little sliver in the sky, okay, maybe start making some moves and shakes. But now is still a time where you can still keep some things to yourself and keep them precious to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And as the likely outcome, here we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a card of great new beginnings as far as creativity is involved. So, you know, maybe if you do keep some of your creative juices to yourself and let that stuff marinate and let yourself just sort of think on it and think about how you're going to present it to the world, or how you're going to tell your friends about it, or how you're going to announce this thing, then as the likely outcome, we have the Page of Wands, you know. And the Page of Wands is someone who's flirtatious, and it's a card of like good news and good energy as far as creative, sexual, romantic pursuits are involved. It's not necessarily a card of like emotionality as much as it is a card about passion. And you know, let's not confuse emotionality with passion. You know, emotions would be cups. That's like, I'm emotionally available. I'm actually giving you an exchange. I'm actually giving you a tick for tack. Like, you share something with me, I share something with you. No, no, no. Wands is the card of passion. Wands is the card of like, I want you, you want me. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to share our actual hearts with each other, but we're definitely going to share our bodies. You know, we don't have to share our soul with each other, but we're going to share our passions. You know, this is a card of being in a band with somebody, or just starting like new energy of a new relationship that's based on like sexual prowess or any type of passion. But this is a very strong fire energy where you start the spark, but it's up to you to keep the fire lit. So that's what I have for the Aquarius new moon coming up here on the 21st of January. I do encourage all of us that have tuned into this video to keep our minds open, to keep our thoughts open, to understand our own individuality and how that fits into the group, to give others the space to have their own individuality. And you know, I'd say walk before you run. You know, that's my unsolicited advice. Like, if you've been on YouTube or TikTok or anything, and you've been reading memes on Facebook or wherever you get your, you know, verifiable information, my inner intuition and my guidance that I tap very deeply into, and I have for many years, like, I'm an old soul and I'm also an old person. So take that as you will, but I would definitely say that I wouldn't say the balance is key, because what is balance really? And we didn't get the temperance card at all. We got a lot of cups and wands, and you know, I would just say be aware of who you are and make a space that is safe for that soul to be. And have respect for the fact that other people need to do the same. With Mercury going direct, we in Mars as well, in Gemini of all signs, like, we may want to say what we want to say, but just give yourself that extra 30 seconds to meditate, you know? Give yourself and the other person just, you know, this new moon is a great time for just sort of like, if you've already been involved in a situation or you've already been involved with a person, this new moon is a great time to just sort of like go back and say, hey, you know, can we start fresh? Can we just scrap what we've been doing and try something new and see how that works? You know, and then just see how it goes, you know, without expectation. And that's what I have to say to you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me. Yeah, you know. God is blessed. Peace.